สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
President of Association of Police Training Institution in Asia, delegates of Apta members and dialogue partners, research presenters, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Our warmest welcome all of you to Royal Police Cadet Academy, Thailand, in attending the academic seminar on International Cooperation for Education Development and Police Training to Encounter Transnational Crime. I'm Police Lieutenant Colonel Anoma Rojanapong, Lecturer of Social Science Faculty, Royal Police Cadet Academy.
I am Police Lieutenant Colonel Titi Mahajaran, Lecturer of Forensic Science Faculty, Royal Police Cadet Academy. It is our honor to be here as your master ceremony for today's seminar. The seminar is arranged as a part of 2018, the Third General Assembly of Association of Police Training Institutions in Asia or Apta, which aim to share knowledge among experts, researchers, and scholars related to transnational crime issue.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this auspicious moment, I would like to invite Police Lieutenant General Piya Utayo, Commissioner of Royal Police Cadet Academy, Thailand, to deliver a seminar opening remark on stage. A big round of applause, please.
Delegates of Police Training Institute in Asia, Delegate of Asanapol Organization, Research Presenter, Police Officer, Lecturer, Student, Distinguished Guests, Ladies and Gentlemen, on behalf of Royal Police Cadet Academy, Thailand, it is my pleasure and great honor to welcome you to the official opening ceremony for academic seminar program titled International Cooperation for Education Development and Police Training to Encounter Transnational Crime, organized under the Third General Assembly Annual Meeting of Association of Police Training Institute in Asia or Apta. Since globalization creates borderless world, transnational crimes becomes one of the major problems which all countries realize and try cooperation to solve that problem, because it causes threat to person economic and national security. To encounter this transnational crime, it is necessary to integrate three concepts. Those are concept of law enforcement, concept of modern technology, and concept of forensic science. In handling the problem throughout, law enforcement agencies of each country play a key role using cooperation mechanism of domestic level, regional level, and international level to cope transnational crime effectively. This academic seminar program aims to share knowledge of experts from various countries in technology, forensic science, and justice administration. Moreover, it will enhance cooperation in education and training development between institutions and public sector of domestic and international level, which will resolve the economic strength and practical application for justice system development to international standard. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all staff, presenter, and supporter who make the seminar today possible, and hope it will achieve the expected result of having actual knowledge, as well as strengthening network cooperation between countries to deal with transnational crimes effectively and gain mutual advantage. At this auspicious moment, may I officially declare the academic seminar open. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Police Lieutenant General Piya Utayo, Commissioner of Royal Police Cadet Academy, for your impressive remark.
Let me give you a brief information for today's seminar. There will be 7 research topics presenting on stage inside this Deviance hall, which each topic takes about 15 minutes, including question and answer session. Outside this hall, there are academic booths and 1 poster presentations that you can have a look during the coffee break at about 10:15 to 10:30.
Yes, right now it's time to begin. Without further ado, let's start with the first research presenter in the title of Korean Police Response to Gender-Based Violence and Domestic Violence, presented by Senior Inspector Dang Gyu-shin from International Cooperation Office, Korean National Police University, Republic of Korea. A round of applause, please.
Thank you very much for this opportunity to brief you about our initiative international-wise. I was introduced by the MC, so I do not introduce myself again. This initiative, yes. So this initiative is basically we pursue with the United Nations Development Program in Seoul. That office is actually not for the development of our country, but it's actually it actually aims to expand our knowledge and experience to developing countries. And specifically, Korean National Police University is trying to achieve a goal to spread the knowledge and experience on our gender-based violence capacity building. Before I start my presentation, I have to apologize for submitting my presentation late, not in time. So my presentation might not be included in the program on your booklet. But the reason being that is because this work is kind of provisional at the moment, and we are still in the consultation with many experts. So, but it has been done almost. So we would like to introduce this to you in order to solicit your interest, and as well as expand our target beneficiaries as well. Okay. These are the contents of my presentation. Yes? Well, gender-based violence is a serious issue, of course, and internationally well recognized. According to WHO, World Health Organization, about 1 in 3 women worldwide have experienced either physical or sexual, intimate partner violence or non-partner sexual violence in their lifetime. This is very serious, and it was published and announced in November 2017, so it's very recent finding. And UN's Sustainable Development Goals also include a specific target to eliminate all forms of violence against all women and girls in the public and private spheres. In Korea as well, gender-based violence is kind of a serious issue. With current Me Too movement, you might know that a very famous politician, a governor of a province, had to resign for the allegation of sexual violence against his personal assistant. And a lot of celebrities in our country also be blamed for their wrongdoings and misbehaviors in this, like years ago. Now it is revealed, and it's kind of social issue. big issue. And in this vein, Korean police initiated a new plan to eradicate all forms of violence against women, which is kind of ambitious to, in my opinion. I mean, all other types of crimes cannot be eradicated from the root, but anyway, we are trying to do that. And then in this context, there have been a number of requests and demands since we have established a partnership with the UND Peace Hope Office. And because there are a number of countries who would like to share ideas and experience in this gender-based violence response of the police. So we have had seminars, including webinars. So seminars real-time through internet. And also we had study visits and joint publications in this area. And the target countries included Kazakhstan, Senegal, and Uzbekistan, etc. at the moment. And the overall strategy in the Korean police is to stress prevention, victim protection during the case investigation, and integrated victim support and prevention of recurrence, as you can see on my slide. And accordingly, the whole objectives is to promote victims' fast recovery from the trauma and social integration, not just catching criminals fast or charges against them. So police officers tend to focus on just crime investigation and catching criminals, but what we realize these days is also what is important is the protection of civil victims as well. Well, the Korean Criminal Code, originally titled Sex Crime as Crimes Concerning Chastity. So it's about pureness of virginity, so it actually fails to recognize this issue, the sexual gender-based violence, as a human rights issue. But now it has changed, so the title of this crime is Crimes Concerning Rape and Infamous Conduct. And until 2012, the prosecution of perpetrators was only possible with complaint of the victim. So if there was no complaints from the victim, or later they just withdraw their complaints after the negotiation with the perpetrator, then the criminals cannot be charged, cannot be on trial. So it was kind of problematic, and the reason was that the victims might not want to reveal this crime because they kind of afraid of the stigma and other things, but it had actually adverse effect, and they do not want to, I mean, many victims just give up filing these complaints to criminal justice system. But now we abolished that, and without the complaints, such kind of complaints, we can actually investigate the suspects and charge them in the court for these heinous crimes. Yes. And that's the basic law. And in terms of specific laws, legislation, in 1994, we had Special Act on the punishment of sexual crimes and protection of victims. It came into effect as a result of strong advocacy by the grassroots women's rights group and the heightened public demand for a stronger legal framework. And in 2011, the law was divided into two parts. The first one is the Act on Special Cases, Special Act on Sexual Violence, a punishment of sexual crimes. And the second one is the Act on the Prevention of Sexual Violence and Protection of Victims. So the initial one actually had two aspects together, so, crime investigation and punishment, and the protection of victims. But now we have special laws separately about the first issue and the second issue. And the second one actually contains articles on punishment and investigation of crimes, such as the responsibility to report and special regulation on the punishment of sexual violence, and also includes articles pertaining to protection of the victims, such as the responsibility of the state, preventative education, and the establishment and operation of counseling centers and shelters as well. So in accordance with this legal framework and policy framework, the approach of the Korean National Police can be explained with these three prongs. So dedicated gender-based violence investigation team, and secondly, provision of integrated support to the victims during and even after the investigation. And the third one is systemic capacity building of the police through its existing training resources, including our university, Korean National Police University. These are the basic principles that we teach to our investigators and police officers. We know all of this. Police is the first responder to this type of crime, and we should be considered as the frontline supporter for the victims. We know all of this, but the important thing is how to implement this and keep this principles during the whole process of investigation in criminal justice. Well, this slide actually shows the common stereotypes and misconceptions of sexual violence. One critical part of improving the police's response to the gender-based violence is tackling gender bias in the police response to the gender-based violence. So this type of bias is supported by stereotypes and misconceptions about this crime. And stereotypes and misconceptions not only affect the reporting of gender-based violence crimes, but also result in secondary victimization of the victim. The secondary victimization actually refers to the victimization that occurs not as a direct result of the crime, criminal action, but through the response of institutions and surrounding individuals to the victim. And GVV victims are especially vulnerable to this type of misconceptions. Okay? So we have this 4 bullet points in terms of developing the expertise in the police. We have special things about case reception, on-site actions, evidence collection and preservation, and victim interview. We don't have enough time, so I do not want to go to the details. If I do that, then I probably need a week. But this is, I try to introduce some examples of that. This is an emergency kit to collect evidence of sexual crime for legal and medical purposes. So those kits are available in 343 facilities around this country. And it has instructions of 12 steps and 88 components. So first responders, medical staff, and police officers can actually use those kits to support the victim. And this is the checklist. Sorry, this is in Korean, but this is a checklist for the officers who actually get to the scene for the first time. And it's about crime reporting, what you have to do on the scene, and what you have to consider in terms of evidence collection, when you have to be cautious in terms of interviewing the victims, type of thing. For example, victim interview, child victims under the age of 13, and the victims with disabilities, they should be brought to the center, integrated support center for the interview, and female police officers should conduct interviews for the female victims unless they specifically want male investigator. So, and they also have to prepare the interview in a professional way before. And of course, they have to be informed that your identity, the victim's identity may not be revealed in the criminal process. So we guarantee the anonymity of the victims. These are the another thing that I would like to stress. It's an integrated support system provided by the Korean police to the victims. So it includes medical support, psychological support, financial support, and legal support, and also provide shelters and protection facilities. And the victims are informed with a leaflet including their victims, their rights as a victim. So they do know what kind of services are available for them. And these are the kind of protection mechanism that the Korean governments actually have right now. We have a sunflower center and also specialized emergency call for the woman victims, and counseling centers and relevant government agencies to support them. And I would like to explain a little bit more details about Sunflower Center. It's an integrated one-stop service for the female victims. These are the pictures of the facility. So as you can see by the names of the each facility, they provide counseling. They also provide some relaxation place and also medical support as well. And they can also get the statement in a separate place, and the investigators can actually monitor their interview and statement gathering, and also they provide psychological support in one place. So these are type of investigation that we do. So in the investigation room, interview room, the victims are there, and the female police officer dedicated for the victim interview conduct the interview, and the public defender and statement assistant or trustee of the victim can accompany those victims in that area, while in a separate room through the the glass, police officers who actually conduct the investigation, in charge of the investigation, can monitor the interview process, and the statement analysis specialist and stenographer can actually get the statement. We also have challenges as well. Right now, the police has focused on what to provide to the victim, but now it's time for us to stress more on how to provide. So in order to do that, we have to improve education on approach and attitude, including administration of psychological first aid for recovery of victims' sense of safety and control. We need kind of special training for the police officers as well. And another challenge is geographical limits. The areas are limited. So it sounds very nice, integrated support to the victim, but still, geographically, it's not available in everywhere. So we have to expand the reach of the support to the victims. So integration of victim interview team, also an investigation team. When you have separate those teams, when you separate those two teams, then there might be some kind of issue during the court process, judicial process, about the trustworthiness of the victim's statement. So it is also important for us to integrate those two teams into one, so in order to guarantee the admissibility of the evidence gathered through this process. Okay, this is kind of a last conclusion of my presentation. So the victim protection and support begins when contacting the victim. So when the victim first saw the police officers, they will feel the trust, and they have some kind of willingness to cooperate with the whole criminal procedure, depending on the police officer's response to them. That is a very important thing, and we would like to stress this throughout the whole training process and our approach to our counterparts in the foreign countries as well. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much for... Am I in time? Good. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So any questions or comments on my presentation?
So any questions from the floor to ask the presenter, Senior Inspector Dang Kyu Chin? So please feel free to ask, because his presentation is very interesting and informative.
There are two microphones on the aisle.
So
you can
cadets,
step
please.
outside and ask a question.
Thank you, Professor. So I'm glad to hear about you that you show us, demonstrate what you're working on the case related to the sexual investigation. So I got one question about as a social media or digital evidence increasingly in this decade. So how you handle for the digital device that you found on the crime scene, like how you process that into the laboratory and do a report to the court.
I'm sorry, could you say that again? I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. So I'm so excited. Okay. That you show us very interesting. So I got one problem in my mind as a digital forensic examiner. So in your country, how you handle the case related to sexual abuse with digital evidence like Android phone,
yes.
Samsung Galaxy Tab, something like that. So.
I mean, digital forensic is very famous in my country as well. Yes, it's one of the most advanced part in the Korean police. Of course, the sexual gender violence crime cases, we use the forensic evidence, of course. I mean, the law, the special law that I mentioned actually includes the sexual violence through the digital media like SNS and other types of internet. And it's, as you may know, the spreading of this sexual harassment type of thing is really, really easy through the internet because it has reachability, it has acceptance from everywhere. So yeah, it's kind of serious issue. But the digital forensic is not only for this crime, but all kinds of crime they use. I mean, these days, forensic evidence, some things on the internet, and the CCTVs as well. All those technologies are being utilized by the Special Victims Unit in there. And we have also special units for the digital forensics as well. And they work together very closely in order to use those evidence gathered through the digital forensics as well. Yes.
Any further question?
More questions? No.
Okay. Thank you, Officer Dong Kui-shin, for your impressive presentation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For the next presentation, the title is International Cooperation in Police Training to Deal with Transnational Crime at the People's Police Academy of Vietnam. It is our pleasure to invite Police Bu Van Dat from the People's Police Academy of Vietnam on stage to deliver the message.
So, good morning, everyone. Firstly, I would like to express my most sincere thanks to Chief Superintendent General Sang Jong Lee, the President of KMPU, the President of Apta, and Police Lieutenant General P.R. Uthayo, the Commissioner of RPCA of Thailand, and the Secretariat of Apta, and on the staff and the cadet of RPCA of Thailand to arrange a very meaningful and a wonderful time for us here. Just about my presentation today. Firstly, maybe it's a very great honor to me to be here today to present about the topic today, and this is my chance to share my some experiences about the international cooperation in police training to counter the transnational crime at the People's Police Academy of Vietnam. Firstly, we have to focus on the importance of international cooperation in police training to deal with transnational crime. It's obviously that the international cooperation in policing has become more and more important, along with the development and change of the society because of some reasons. Firstly, the increasing threat of transnational crime. According to the recent estimates by UNODC, transactions from illegal activities across the East Asia and Pacific region are worth more than 100 billion USD per year. Additionally, Southeast Asia is known as a hub of human trafficking to Australia and New Zealand. Moreover, the openness of immigration and import and export management due to globalization has created immigrants certain advantage to expand international integration to develop the economy. Secondly, each police force has its own mission according to the law enforcement policy of each country. However, in general, most police force has some common mission. This is a crime prevention and suppression, provide innovative and effective policing, protect life, property, and public, prevent crime and reduce fear of crime. Thirdly, the multilateral and bilateral cooperation among governments in region has become stronger and stronger. It creates not advantage for police cooperation such as ASEAN Community, ASEAN +3, ASEAN +6. Besides the legal framework for cooperation has become consolidated. Those conditions are the legal framework and advantage for police cooperation in general and police training in particular. Firstly, special conditions supporting expanded cooperation. The development of society and technology has brought excellent convenience for police in checking, detecting, and investigating criminals. It also helps police force easier to connect and implement cooperative activities, so no matter where they are. Yeah. And now I will introduce a little bit about the police training in PPA to meet the requirement of transnational crime prevention and suppression. The PPA of Vietnam is a multidisciplinary institution responsible for training and retraining cadets with graduate, master, and doctoral degrees, fostering the title and profession for cadet, leader, and commander of the People Police Force in particular, and the Ministry of Public Security in general. Fostering teacher for the other institutions, a Ministry of Public Security, participating in the defense, education, and security, carrying out foreign affairs and international cooperation on education and training under the minister's plan. PPA has some departments in charge of police training, science, researching on crime prevention and suppression, including translational crime, such as the Department of Counter-Narcotic Drugs Crime, Department of Social Order-Related Crime, Department of Economic Crime, Department of Environmental Crime, Department of Arms Police, Department of Cyber and High-Tech Crime, and Research Center for Criminology and Crime Investigation. to deal and counter effectively the transnational crime. The international cooperation at PPA play a very important role. PPA has become one of the most successful units of Ministry of Public Security of Vietnam in promoting and implementing the international cooperation in police training. We now have a cooperation with many institutions with other countries in the world. So you can see this is a picture of many delegations from other countries to come to PPA. We now have cooperation with the People Police Academy of Laos, the National Security Academy of Laos, the Police Academy of Cambodia, the University of Moscow of Internal Affairs of Russia, the Academy of Law and Management of the Federal Penal Service of Russia, the National Police University of China, Royal Police Cadets Academy of Thailand, the Korean National Police University, the Law Enforcement University of Mongolia, and the IMIT of Australia. We also have some exchange students exchange program with the academy start providing training course for foreign students in 1969. Many students from many countries has come to our academy to study, and we send many cadets, officers, and lecturers to study about bachelor, master, and doctoral degrees. Yeah, for example, this is a program for to train police for Laos, Cambodia, APSF Thailand, the KMPU. Since 2010, PPA has conducted the master degree program in justice leadership under the cooperation with University of Maryland of USA. Many police training projects using ODA funding has also been implemented by our academy like this. And Russia. PPA is now the official member of International Association of Police Academies, INTERPA or INTERPA, ASEAN-APON Police Training Corporation meeting, the Association of Police Training Institutions in Asia or Apta, and China, ASEAN Police Academy Forum, so on. The Academy has also collaborated with various international organizations, NGOs, to implement many programs of enhancing law enforcement capacity, such as organized ASEAN regional training on border management conducted by Interpol, researching the impact of alcohol on traffic accident with WHO, training on HIV prevention and drug treatment, child sexual abuse prevention and investigation with UNODC, training on human trafficking investigation, wildlife protection, and with freelance and WCS. Yeah, so the international cooperation in police training at PPA has improved the capacity for the academic point in some master as below. Firstly, expand the cooperation relation with various partners, improve the knowledge and capacity for both lecturer and cadets, improve the training program, reach the international standards, and enhance the facility. During the implementation of international cooperation in police training, PPA has a lot of advantages such as support from the government and Ministry of Public Security of Vietnam, a stronger legal framework, mutual interests and benefits which enhance police force cooperation, better facility, equipment and technology, train and experience human resource. Along with the advantages, there are many challenges for the academy to improve the efficiency of international cooperation in police training. The transnational crime and threats caused by criminals have been larger and complicated, which require better response from police force. Thus, the training program needs to be updated, and the training institution have to prepare necessary and updated skill for police officer to handle the situation. And during the operating the cooperative relations, we have found that the different in training model and control is also the challenge for the cooperation, because it's no hard for the Chinese to accept and apply the knowledge from another system of their own system if the training models are different, such as academic model and operational model. Yeah. And some challenges about the language barrier, the finance limitation, and lack of long-term strategy. In order to prevent and fight against transnational crime effectively, PPA is focusing on some following solutions. Firstly, PPA has been building and improving the training programs to fight against crime in general and transnational crime in particular in the context of globalization and economic integration. Especially, PPA enhance and increase foreign language foreign language training for not only cadets but also the officer PPA, such as English, Chinese, French, and Russian. PPA also invites the deliverers who are officers of national programs to have a lecture and report about the crime situation and some serious criminal case, so that PPA cadets can gain and update more knowledge and experience about these concerns. Okay. Secondly, PPA is developing and equipping modern facility. And thirdly, PPA is enhancing international cooperation in police training. So thank you. Do you have any recommend or question for our presentation?
Any recommendations or any question from the floor? You can use the microphone and ask the questions for the presenter. Okay, if no questions, I think because your presentation is very clear and you provide us a big picture of what PPA do about about international cooperation, about transnational crime. Thank you so much for your presentation. For the next presenter, he transformed from Michael MC to be the presenter right now. So next it is the research entitled of the development of forensic science program for academic institutions in Thailand. The presenter is Police Lieutenant Colonel Thiti Mahajaran, Lecturer of Forensic Science Faculty, Royal Police Cadet Academy. Please welcome on stage.
Thank you for your big applause. May I switch my role from the MC to the presenters? This research got funding from the National Research Council of Thailand in 2016. So I got a question in my mind when I finished my education from USA. Why this country have such a high success rate of arresting the offenders and a low rate of convicting an innocent? So I compare, this study is a comparative study between the forensic science education in Thailand and the USA. This is a research topic, the development of forensic science program for academic institution in Thailand. The keyword of this study, we have used a lesson learned, the forensic science, and the benchmarking. The introduction is nowadays, currently, the crime has frequently occurred, and to bring the culprit to justice deserve a proper punishment is very important. And it is especially important to collect evidence to confirm and be able to prove a fact. So forensic science is a big part of this, so we have to focus on how to collect an evidence and send the evidence to the laboratory and do a good examination. The objective of this research is to study the requirement of developing forensics academic program in Thailand and to conduct a comparative study of forensic science program in Thailand and USA and to propose an improved method to develop forensic science program in Thailand. The research method, I use a qualitative research and focus on the forensic science academic program in both Thailand and USA. Information was collected from book, journals, research paper, and field research. We also conducted in-depth interview from the 10 key informants who are executive of the program in Thailand, such as Khon University, Kasetsart University, Chulalongkorn University, Chiang Mai University. The research through a questionnaire, recording device, camera, and lesson learned technique of comparative study between Thailand and the USA. From my research, I found that the obstacles to develop forensic science program in Thailand are the content of knowledge is not comprehensive enough, and the lack of faculty members and staff with a highly specialized field, such as forensic entomology or forensic engineering. The number of undergraduate students are rising because of rigorous research criteria. Certain universities set a very high standard of research criteria, so the successful of accomplish the program is very low. The training, teaching, and curriculum, there's shortcoming of collaboration among forensic science program in terms of exchanging staff and research too. Since we have such a limited budget and limited tools and equipment, so we have to help each other. If we contact each other, we do not collaborate, and we can success to make a good program of forensic science. The laboratory equipment and qualified faculty member in a special field. A solution is to promote the collaboration, as I told you. The results show that there are not enough research in certain forensic fields, such as criminologic, entomology, investigation to assist students in finding research topics, which is a big problem. The research budget is also a problem to access laboratory equipment necessary for doing their work. The community service, we have to corroborate the community service, especially for the first responder. In Thai, we call Paw Tekตึง. Do you know that, right? So most of them ruin the evidence in the scene. So we have to educate them and teach them how to get into the evidence correctly and properly. We also have a problem of ethics. So we have to teach and make them realize the importance of moral and ethics in forensics issue. The curriculum, since we have the academic assurance, which is a big burden of the faculty staff member, you know that, right? ประกันคุณภาพ So since the rule keep changing, so it's very hard to follow and pace forward and make it accomplished. This is very interesting, the comparative study of USA and Thailand. Since I got a 6-year education in the PhD program from John Jay College of Criminal Justice in forensic science, so I learned something from the USA and I want to compare it to my home country. The first factor is the distance between the instructor and student. As you know that in the classroom, right, the teacher always stand in front of the class and not get close to you enough and give you a microphone or give you a question. So I learned that in the USA, we have such a very small class, only few students, not more than 10 of graduate students. So the distance of the instructor and the student are very close. He treated us as a friend, as the kids, very close. And they kind of talk each other all the time, and students participate by raising their hand all the time. The class is lecture-oriented style in Thailand, but in the USA they focus on the laboratory hours. The laboratory hours is open between 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. during the weekdays from Monday to Friday. So they can choose time slot anytime they want, or any free time from the lecture class, they can get into the lab right away. And the professor will give you a 10 lesson lab on the first class. You have to finish. You have to finish all 10 or 15 laboratory hours by your own. You can decide the hour by your own, and they open the lab all the time, close as 10 p.m., okay? And on Saturday, they open between 8 a.m. to like 6 p.m. So you can work on the laboratory hours 6 days a week. But in Thailand, no, right? You can work only maybe 8:30 to 4 p.m. from Monday to Friday, and Saturday it's closed. So the time slot is also important. Okay? The guidelines to develop the forensic program in Thailand, we have to create an academic network among the executive of the program in each university. And we have to scope of work and future career for students, okay? And we have to focus on doing rather than theory in the class. And forensic seminars should be held regularly, as is this seminar, right? To exchange the knowledge, okay? Exchange the knowledge among and between institutions having forensic science program. And we have to creating the teaching standard. Since we have so many curriculum in Thailand of forensic science, so we have to set a standard and go together. Thank you. Do you have any question?
So, a round of applause, please. เสียงปรบมือด้วยนะคะ So, any questions? Wow. Because his presentation is very comprehensible, so it's very clear, so you understand well with no questions. Anyway, thank you very much, Police Lieutenant Colonel Thiti Mahajaran from Forensic Science Faculty, Royal Police Cadet Academy. I would like to present another group before we have a short break at 10:15. So we change from lecturer research to cadets research. So may I invite Police Cadet เกริกไกรวรรณขจรกุลชลธร and Police Cadet สิริการรังควงศ์ to present research titled Predictive Policing Deviant Behavior Inspection Through Facebook. Please welcome.
President of Korean National Police University, the Commissioner of Royal Police Cadet Academy, all distinguished guests, and all the participants, good morning and welcome. At first, I'd like to introduce myself first. My name is Police Cadet Gegewan Kajon Kuncharathon
and I'm Police Cadet Sirika Nangkawong.
Yeah, we are the only police cadet on this stage, and I'm have a great honor to be here, and I will do my best. At first, you may wonder why I'm here. The reason why I'm here because my paperwork got a prize, the third prize winner at the IUCP, and at the Korean National Police University. I have such a very good time, have a very warm welcome at there. It's very impressive time. I'd like to say thank you a lot with that impressive time. And let's get into this.
Nowadays, social network is rapidly grow up, and especially Facebook has the target user reach in 2.9 billion users, which around 8 billion users spending about 40 minutes to express their opinion, their feeling by posting comments and also about their profile pictures. And we think about that we cannot deny that nowadays police also use social network, but we can see that police also use it in just investigations in a high level, but for the patrol police or for the prevention is very lowest level. So this is why we come up with this research.
And that is the reason why we are very interested in social media. And from that, from my internship, I started investigation in the social media, and I learned that social media they are very powerful tools. And I think that we, as the law enforcement, we need to adapt it. I think that we can learn it and make it more advantage. And I have to do much more deeper study, and I found it. They have a research on the big data policing and assessment of law enforcement requirement and expectation and priorities. I found that they have one system they call the HOT system. They can predict and assess the risk of individuals. That sounds very interesting, and I think that if we can adapt the HOT system from individuals into the social media, and that's the reason how our research started. And this is
for our aim of study. First, to explore the factor of deviant behavior, which probably lead to criminal performing on Facebook, which means we will see which deviant behavior will relate to criminal and what they will perform on Facebook. And after that, we will to formulate the model of deviant behavior inspections and prediction system using machine learning technique, which means we will adapt it into to Facebook. Yes.
Okay, so our study, let's start it. So we have noticed on the Facebook, most of us usually play Facebook, and we can learn a lot of them. We can notice many posts, many pictures, many words, and we have decided this framework to investigation. First, our study consider the deviant behavior. The deviant behavior is the behavior that will lead to criminals. So this research aim to design the system that can predict the crime, predict the deviant behavior before they're leading to the crime. So we have to decide the framework and consider what is the indicator of the deviant behavior and what we can accumulate it from the Facebook. And this is the framework. The first one, we have a lot of image in the Facebook, and we consider the position of the legal things like guns or drugs. You may see on this picture, this is the one of kind of the deviant behavior, and we consider this kind of behavior are deviant behavior, and we use the techniques we call object detection, and we use the machine learning techniques. And the second one is we call word inquiry. This is the machine learning techniques that we can accumulate and analyze the word through the Facebook. And the last one is social network analysis.
For example, if they have friends, like they cooperate with the firearm, or maybe they use the root word, which means they connect with the criminal, some kind of like that. Yes.
And we have, after we consider what is the indicator of deviant behavior, we decide the system data flow. As you may see here, we have 3 indicators, 3 data from 3 data lakes. The first one is image. We use image extract process or object detection techniques. And the second one is words. How we extract the words, we use, we call linguistic inquiry word counts techniques to extract the word and analyze the word. And the last one is network. As my friend said, we can analyze the correlation with the criminal, and we use the social network analysis, SNA techniques. And all of this, we will collect them and scoring them in the deviant behavior assessment. In this holistic system, we can predict whether they will commit a crime through Facebook.
And for our discussions, of course, our study is relatively new and require the integration of a variety of technology. And for our discussion, we decided to make it in 2, which is one is legalization and privacy. As you know that if we want to collect the personality informations, which means we must may access to their personal, right? So we have to personal rights. So we have to make it like Thailand we have the law that also compared with compared to the law. Also, Thailand also we can also collect personality data like the criminal data, but for social media, they post their feeling or they comment. It doesn't mean they want us to collect them without their permission. So we have to decide the new law to use it. And our second discussion is defining the framework for deviant behavior.
Defining the framework, as we mentioned above, that is very important because we use the machine learning techniques. It means that we have to train the machine and we have to train them to recognize what is the deviant behavior. Like at the first picture, we use the boy with the bike, and we train them to be the deviant behavior. So that is very important to define what is the deviant behavior, what will lead to the crime. Because if we lead them and train them wrongly, we make a bias to the machine learning. It will lead to very severe. Yep, like if we define smile like a deviant behavior and they analyze the smile to be the deviant behavior, is you have a very severe case. So defining the framework is very important in our discussion. And for the conclusion, our paper are on the progress, and I think that our system and our framework will have a very enormous impact in the police work. And furthermore, from my research, from my experience through this paper, I found a little great discovery from this. From this paper, I have from this seminar, our seminar today topics is cooperation in development of education and police training to prevent transnational crime. And my paper, some of them are not related, but I will give you some suggestions about this seminar. I think my paper, it's give me a lot of experience because about 3 months ago, I never know what is Deviant, what is machine learning. I never know it before. I never know how to do a paperwork. I never know how to make a speech. But due to the past file, which gave me the best experience, and at that time, the 3 months ago, I never know that how far I can go. But I'll tell you one little secret. One little secret of my successful is because our great leader, is because our commissioner, is because our teachers and the great dean, they give me a lot of resources, they empower me, they strengthen me, they lift me up, they believe in me, they trust me. My commissioner always told me that, be the Jonathan Livingston, be trust in yourself. They urge me to do the innovation, to dare to be different, to think differently. Machine learning never be in our course. It's in the course of the computer science. And I came across it. I dare to come across it because my commander and my teachers support me. And this is the key success. And I think that this is the key. They urge me to think borderless. And this is the key to fight with the transnational crime, which is borderless as well. Thank you.
Any recommendations or any questions from the floor? Okay, if not, thank you very much for Police Cadet เกิดไกรวรรณขจรกุลชลธร Police Cadet สิริการรังขวง They are in our 4th year, in year 4, and I want to tell you something that their research is not compulsory in our curriculum. It is an extra one. So they all find out the information and really want to do the research because I know that they are generation of IT technology. So they will do well and I'm very happy as a lecturer here that they know that the advantage of the IT and also know the disadvantage of that as well. So that's very good for our generation. So right now, we will now have a 15 minutes break for your refreshment. The coffee and the snacks are set outside. And for our guests from Apta members, please go to room Rajasima. So the liaison, please bring your guests there. And for officer สำหรับข้าราชการตำรวจแล้วก็
Thank you very much for the introduction, the Master of Ceremony. The Commissioner of Korean National Police University, the Commissioner of Royal Police Cadet Academy, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is our great honor to be part of this academic seminar for the Association of Police Training Institutions in Asia 2018. Today, we would like to present our study about challenges in internet fraud investigation and prosecution in Thailand through the perspective of Thai police officers. First of all, we would like to introduce ourselves. So the person next to me is Police Captain Gotchakorn, and my name is Police Lieutenant Pinyo. So we are also APCA alumni who got the scholarships to pursue our master degrees in criminology in the UK. We are also lecturers from Faculty of Forensic Science, Royal Police Cadet Academy, and we are also on-site digital forensic examiners in the team of Thailand Internet Crimes Against Children. Next up, I would like to tell you about our research background. As you have known, the internet has become a part of our daily life, as it enables us to contact people at every corner of the world and gives us great convenience in life. Meanwhile, such virtual network can be a shelter for cyber perpetrators to commit a crime. Nowadays, the criminals don't need to physically rob the bank or take a risk of breaking into someone's house to steal something. They can just sit inside the room and use the internet facilities to anonymously commit a crime from anywhere and at any moment. Cyber fraud is a kind of cybercrime that uses online network to defraud persons. It is also considered a transnational crime as the internet is borderless. Consequently, it is then difficult for law enforcement agencies to deal with online fraud, since most of the cases are committed outside the country and require cross-jurisdictional investigation and prosecution. According to the table, in 2017, Thailand was the top 10 internet countries in Asia with high percentage of internet penetration to the citizens. And at the same time, Thailand is also one of the top 5 targets for fraudulent activities. The report from Thailand Computer Emergency Response Team points out that almost a third of all cybercrimes in Thailand relate to internet fraud, and it has caused a large amount of financial damage to corporations and people in general. Unfortunately, law enforcement agencies in Thailand, particularly Thai police officers, seem to have inadequate responses to online fraud. Such poor responses from the police literally allow online perpetrators to continue their cyber fraud operations and cause greater damage. So that's why we start to research on this problem. The research aims are to examine current difficulties in combating internet fraud and to identify possible solutions to problems which have been explored through the Thai police's perspective. These aims actually lead to our research questions, which include the number one, what are the difficulties in internet fraud investigation and prosecution experienced by police in Thailand? The question number two, from the Thai police perspective, to what extent does law enforcement successfully prosecute internet fraud perpetrators? And question number three, what are the possible solutions to deal effectively with internet fraud in Thailand? We employ a qualitative research method, which is in-depth interviews, to study the sample population of Thai police officers from 4 different departments. The research participants consist of 10 police officers from Royal Police Cadet Academy, Technology Crime Suppression Division, local police officers, and Interpol. Our research interviewees have professional experience in combating online fraud and any kind of cybercrime in Thailand. Our data collection is based on semi-structured interviews, which last approximately 30 minutes for each person. Then we transcribe the recordings verbatim and employ thematic analysis to interpret data and categorize them to themes and patterns. Consequently, we got the results and discussion that my colleague, Police Captain Kosukon, will describe further in more detail based on the information we've got from the interviews.
Okay. So the table presents the analysis of the qualitative data During the empirical investigation, we attend semi-structured interviews. It was aided by the process of inductive thematic analysis. 5 major themes were subsequently identified with 10 sub-themes. The first theme is perception. The theme of perception involves exploring the meaning of online fraud through the lens of participation based on their work experience and background knowledge. 2 sub-themes are discussed in this section: the trends and effects of internet fraud and the perception of online fraud investigation. Second, law and regulations. Law and regulations were considered a difficulty in online fraud investigation. This theme contains 2 sub-themes showing the issue originating from domestic law and regulations in Thailand and international treaties. Law and regulations are considered a barrier to investigation due to the lack of data accessibility and an insufficient period of information preservation. Also, international law on data sharing and cooperation in transnational prosecution is problematic, as many countries keep national information confidential. Cooperation. The lack of active cooperation was also deemed a difficulty in online fraud investigation. The cooperation between police and other organizations is problematic, especially between TCSD, which is Technology Crime Suppression Division, and local police, because each party throw the blame on the other. The police also lack English skill to collaborate with other nations. So the cooperation themes contain 2 sub-themes, which are internal cooperation and international cooperation. Fourth, training and education. This section relates to the lack of training for Thai police officers and a general societal lack of education and awareness of online fraud. The theme is divided into 2 sub-themes: police training and societal education and awareness. The police training system is ineffective owing to organizational problems that lead to inefficient human resource development. The police lack technical expertise in cybercrime prosecution, prevention, investigation, and digital forensics. The absence of knowledge and awareness of online fraud for people leads to further difficulties due to the increase in internet fraud incidents. Moreover, management. This theme demonstrates problems originating from the Royal Thai Police Administration, which should be improved to solve difficulties encountered by operational officers. The theme consists of 2 sub-themes, which are human resource development and budget appropriation. Because police suffer from the instability of police institutions, which rely heavily on the patronage system and corruption, the failure of organizational management and police culture leads to the lack of competency in the police and budget for criminal investigation. Overall solutions. According to the challenge identified by the 5 themes, the research has found the key stakeholders who interact with each other in the policing of internet fraud, including police, private sector, and citizens. The proposed solutions involve the development of three dimensions: responsibility, knowledge, and trust, which may solve the problem originating from this group of actors. These dimensions can influence each other and mitigate the identified challenge of online fraud investigation and prosecution. So in summary, the study identified interaction between major actors in policing cyber fraud: police, the private sectors, and citizens. Therefore, in solution, the solution to the problem lies in three main areas: influence the key stakeholders, including 1. The responsibility of each other provided by the law, in-house rule, and education for better cooperation in combating internet fraud. 2. Knowledge, training, and education for stakeholders. And 3. The development of trust in police through changes in organizational culture and management. The proposed solutions to the issues identified in the study can be adopted by the law enforcement agency in Thailand. Furthermore, legal practitioners from the other nations can also implement the solutions to the problems originating from the nature of online fraud, such as cross-judicial prosecution, to improve effectiveness of the police of cyber-related fraud. So the last one is recommendation for further research. Further research on challenge is online fraud prosecution by other organizations in the criminal justice system is recommended. It is also important that the research difficulty in other countries and internationally, since the Thai context discussed here is different from other countries in terms of societal belief, organizational culture, and its legal system. Finally, further research should be undertaken to identify the problems of countermeasures against internet fraud within commercial organizations that may influence the cause and effect of the current cyber fraud in situation. Well, these are the references. So this is the end of presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Any recommendation or questions? Yes, please.
Thank you for your presentation. Just a basic question, smoothly. Don't be afraid for my appearance right here. So, first of all, I would like to share experience. Last week, I went with a commissioner RPCA to visit internship program for a senior cadet. We found that two things. We found that first is our cadet have an obstacle to interact with foreign visiting foreign victim, and the second thing is important is about they found how to advise the victim when the victim got a problem with internet fraud, like your presentation. So, if you have any suggestion to our future cadet to be the real police officer, to provide the knowledge, to advise or suggestion when the people, even not Thai people or foreigner people, go to the police station and have found the problem with mobile internet fraud, something like that. Do you have a suggestion to maintain the evidence by yourself, capture screen, or something like that? So I would like to ask Coach Chagan.
Can you follow quite a long question?
Thank you for questions. So, as I am a lecturer of forensics, Faculty of Forensic Science, we have the class for third-year student about the computer crime. So in that subject, so we will talk about how to deal with those crimes. Like when people come to see you, what you need to ask and what you need to keep the evidence and what you need to show or present to the court, something like that. At least, even though we study, police cadet here, even though they study about the public administration, but this knowledge they need to know, they need to study, because nowadays the computer crimes is happen all around the world and it's impossible to avoid this. So it's better to start study now, and then when they ready to work, they will not afraid of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question and your answer. I'm sorry that we have time for only one question for each. Okay, once again, thank you very much for researchers, Police Captain Gotchakorn Phengranai and Police Lieutenant Pinyo Mipiam from Faculty of Forensic Science, Royal Police Cadet Academy. Let's go next for the presentation. The research title is A Design of Facebook User Analysis System for Human Trafficking Page Monitoring in Thailand, presented by Police Captain Wong Yot Ket Sri, Lecturer of Forensic Science Faculty, Royal Police Cadet Academy, Thailand. Please give him a big round of applause.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to my presentation today. I am Police Captain Dr. Wong Yot Ket Sri. I am a lecturer from the Faculty of Forensic Science, Royal Police Cadet Academy, Thailand. So today I would like to present my research that related with the social media monitoring. The topic today is the design of Facebook user analysis system for human trafficking page monitoring in Thailand. So in this presentation and this paper, there are three order. The first order is me, and the second order is Police Cadet Anusorn Pinchai, and the third order is Police Cadet Sila Danai Yaumong. So this paper was extended from the paper from the Republic of Korea, from the 4th International Undergraduate Conference on Policing that presented on the last August. In this presentation, it's divided into 5 parts. It says an introduction, related theory, methodology, result, and conclusion. So, thirdly, I would like to go on in the first section, introduction. This research, the objective of this research needs to propose the monitoring system that we focus on Facebook. And then we collect and retrieve the data from the Facebook and analyze by using some computer science theory. And we have the user analysis, and we have the human trafficking page analysis. All the methods we use the Facebook Graph API that Facebook can provide this tool to developer and to programmer to use this API to get and to retrieve the data and content from Facebook. And then we have the tools of methodology to matching. We have the Thai keyword to matching the keyword and to give the score for the content from Facebook. And finally, we make the result by using the relationship techniques to show the relationship of data. So the question of this research, why we must to set up this research, Because when you see in the pie graph, there are around 77% of sex in human trafficking case in Thailand. So this is a serious issue that you must to manage in the future. So when we see and the numbers of offenders that related with the trafficking, there are many Thai people and Thai persons that related with the offender which have illegal behavior in the human trafficking. So one of important human trafficking in Thailand is related with children. The Thai CAC or Thailand Internet Against Children show the result of a number of human trafficking cases in Thailand related with children. There are around 112 per case. This is a result of tip reports from USA report for this year. Thailand has a tier in the level 2. So from the social media, when we see the numbers of users from the social media in the real world, there are many number of users that use the social media in the world. So this is the reason why we use social media to get the data to analyze it. When you see the circle area of social media, it's overlap with the circle area with the sex trafficking. This is the overlap. This is the overlap area. We focus on this overlap. But there are many social media, for example, Facebook, Twitter, something like that. But in this research, we focus on only Facebook. And we make the monitoring system by using Graph API from Facebook. And we get the content from Facebook to analyze and make the result and show the result that we have the analysis system. And in the related theory, we focus on the Facebook API. When you have the Facebook page and you need to retrieve and get the content from Facebook, you can use in Graph API that Facebook provide you to everyone can use this too. The data from Graph API it's show in the it's representing in the JSON format. And into the JSON format, it's separated into 3 subparts. It's node, age, and the field. This is an example of Facebook Graph API connection. When you have the monitoring system and you need to get the content from the Facebook, you can use in Graph API. But you should have the 2 key. The first key is access token, and the second key is the app ID. And when you request the data into the Facebook database, the Facebook will be provide for related data to you, and you can use this data to analyze it. It can use for public data, public page, public user, not used for private user. You can see and you can go to the examples of these two into this link. So when you go to the Facebook Graph API, you can see this page. Firstly, you must to input the access token, and then select for the fields of user that you need to retrieve data, and then choose the page name or the username that you need to retrieve, and then when you click submit, the data will be provided in this area. The example that you can that you see in the slide is this JSON represent JSON format. For the methodology, we use the tools of methodology, searching keywords matching and scoring system. We focus on Thai keyword. This is our architecture. The application requests the data from Facebook, and Facebook provides the data to application. This is an example of JSON. The JSON, when you request the JSON from Facebook, and then we use all the data and store into the central database. And we have the keyword in Thai that related with human trafficking. We store and insert into the central database too. So when we have tool of data, we are matching and make the relationship for the data and to search and to give the score for the user into the page that related with human trafficking. This is a list of Facebook pages that we use to this research. So in the result, we would like to show you for the two of the result. The first is data relationship system and the scoring system. When you request the data from the Facebook by using Graph API, the Facebook provides page ID. And into the page ID, there are many posts, and the links can link to the post ID. And the post ID can link to the comment ID and the like ID. This is a network of graph that you can use this network to analyze some relationship. When we have the user from the Facebook page, each user can link to another user, and we can make the relationship that you can see in the slide. When we have the list of users, we give the score by matching the Thai keyword, and we give the score and list the top 10 or top 20 of users to monitor. This is the overall result that we decide to this monitoring system. Okay, and conclusion. In this research, we decide to develop the Facebook monitoring system by using Graph API. And we propose the Thai keywords matching and the scoring system to interpret for this research. And then the final, we show the result for the relationship of user and of contents from the Facebook. Okay, end of presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Do you have a question? Yes, one question, please.
Thank you for a good presentation. Have some question. Do you make application software in your research already? I mean, if you have already application, you can use allow of Thailand. And next, if don't, first question.
Thank you for your question. This is a prototype of system, and in the future, we plan to implement this project. And this project is focused on only Facebook, but in the future, we plan to include the top 5 of Facebook in Thailand. For example, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Line. And this is the only prototype system.
And I think your application is a good application. I think maybe in the future, Apta can use your application for capture a bad guy to a jail. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. I hope to create and to implement our project in the future, and hope to use for police station and police institute in Thailand, and hope to use for Apta in the future. Thank you.
Once again, thank you very much for the presenter, Police Captain Wong Yot Ket Si. His presentation is used many technical words, but anyway, it is very impressive.
We come to the last presenter of this seminar. The title is Characteristics of Effective Instructors Related to Transnational Crime Perceived by Police Cadets. The presenter is Police Captain Pituphum Nakprada, the lecturer of Social Science Faculty, Royal Police Cadet Academy.
Thank you for the introduction. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very honored to be presenting my research study in front of such a big audience. To be honest, I didn't expect to present in front of. I didn't expect that the audience would be this big. Thank you anyway. Next, I would like to talk about my research study, which entitled Effective Instructors Related to Transnational Crimes as Perceived by Police Cadets. To be more specific, effective instructors here mean English as a foreign language instructors, because I'm a lecturer at Faculty of Social Science, which is responsible for offering English courses for the cadets. Okay, next I will be talking about the background to my study. As we all know that the police force nowadays have been dealing with transnational crimes like terrorism, human trafficking, money laundering, and more recently, cybercrime. So it is really likely that the police officers need to be very skillful in several areas, not only the police tactics, but also the English language proficiency. And to be proficient in English language needs a lot of factors. You may need a lot of time. You may have to put a lot of effort in your studying. And in many cases, you may need a lot of money. And of course, one of the most important factors is the teachers or instructors. Because teachers are very important in determining the outcome of the students. The teacher is the one factor that can make the student become successful or unsuccessful. And there are many researchers conducting studies in this area, effective instructors. Although there are many researchers before me conducting in the topic of effective instructors, but most of them conducted in general education or in other specific fields, not many in English language field. And what makes the English language teaching differ from other subjects is that the subject matter and the language of instruction in the English language course is the same thing. That made me interested made me interested in conducting research about this. Okay, next I would like to talk about the purpose of my research. This study was conducted to investigate the perception of Thai police cadets towards the characteristic of effective EFL. EFL stands for English as a Foreign Language instructors. And the research question is, what are the characteristics of effective EFL instructor as perceived by police cadets? Okay, in terms of research method, I use two research tools. The first one is the questionnaire, and I also used the semi-structured interview. And there were 300 participants in my research. Some of them might be sitting in this hall because I collected the data in 2017 last year. As for the questionnaire, I used the 5 Likert scale to find out the information about demographic data and the main questions. I show you the main questions. The first one is the English proficiency. I'm showing you this because I like you to get some idea of what kind of data I was looking for. The English proficiency, like know English vocabulary well, have good knowledge of English grammar, or possess extensive culture comprehension. The next category is pedagogical knowledge, or the knowledge in teaching. So it's something like learning outcomes, something like motivation students by supporting their self-efficacy, encouraging. So it's a teaching style. The next one is organization and communication skill. This is more likely about preparation of the teacher. Prepare the lesson well, present the content in a well-organized way. So this one is more likely a preparation of the teacher. The last one is about socio-affective skills, or about the emotion, mainly dealing with about the emotion, like calling the student by names, or reduce students' anxiety in class, or listen to the student point of views, for example. Okay, next I will be talking about the semi-structured interview. Here are the questions that I used in my interview sessions. Some of them may sound repeated because I want to make sure that I get the right data, I get the right information. So I ask them repeatedly in different ways, in more likely a different way. So here are the key findings. For the quantitative part, it was found that the cadets rank the pedagogical knowledge or teaching knowledge as the most important one. And they rank English proficiency as the number 2. However, as you can see that the average score is not a big difference. It's not a big difference, right? It's very close. So it can be concluded that all these categories are very important in the perception of the cadets. So they gave a high score to all categories. As for the qualitative part, I reduced the raw data, which I got it from the transcript of the interview, and I reduced them into themes, and I got about 10 themes like characteristics of good English teachers, which about English, they must have high English proficiency. They must prepare the lesson well. They must know the cadets by name, for example. They must call the cadet by names, for example. Okay, as for the future research recommendations, which in other words mean the limitation of my studies. The future study should be conducted with students in other major of studying, because the participants in my study, all of them studying or majoring in public administration or police science, so to compare them with other major students might be help us get a bigger picture of what should be the characteristic of English teacher. And next, since my study was conducted only a short period of time, right? And it is very likely that people viewpoints might be changed over time. For example, if I ask the first year cadets about what are the good characteristics of English teacher, their answer might be different when they are in their fourth year. And another recommendation is there should be a study conducted with EFL teachers, with the teacher as well, because this can be a comparative study to determine what are the difference, what are the similarity between the perception of the teacher and the cadets. Okay, as for the implication, the finding will be useful to both in-service and pre-service teachers, as well teacher trainers. And it can be really useful in guiding, in helping the teacher in the teaching methods and material preparations to better suit all cadets. That concludes my presentation. Any comments? Any questions?
Any comments or any questions for the presentation? Or if no, maybe it's very clear. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Police Captain Pitipum Napada for your impressive presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, from 7 topics you learned from the presenters from 3 countries. I hope you have found the presentations are informative and useful for you in certain way. To evaluate this seminar of the program, I would like you to be kindly scan this barcode or QR code showing on screen now. Please do the questionnaire and submit it online. May I speak Thai for the Thai participant? เราจะมีการประเมินนะครับการจัดการประชุมครั้งนี้ครับรบกวนน้องๆนะครับนักศึกษาปริญญาโทนะครับพี่ๆข้าราชการครับผมรบกวนสแกน QR code แล้วก็ใช้เวลาประมาณ 2-3 นาทีนะครับสำหรับคนไทยไม่ต้องทำข้อ1นะครับเพราะเราไม่มีการไปรับที่สนามบินนะครับทำข้อที่2เลยนะครับขอบคุณมากครับ
แล้วก็ขออนุญาตประชาสัมพันธ์สำหรับผู้เข้าร่วมสัมมนาที่เป็นไทย participants นะคะเราจะมีอาหารกลางวันบริการให้กับผู้เข้าร่วมสัมมนานะคะจะมีรถบัสจอดที่ด้านหน้าของห้องสัมมนาก็ขอเรียนเชิญท่านข้าราชการตำรวจรวมถึงแขกของทางการเข้าร่วมสัมมนาในวันนี้นะคะทุกท่านเชิญรับประทานอาหารที่อาคารดำรงราชานุภาพที่บริเวณริมน้ำของโรงเรียนร้อยตำรวจนะคะแต่สำหรับนักเรียนในร้อยตำรวจนะคะเชิญที่โภชนาคารภัตตาคารโภชนาคารเหมือนเดิมนะคะนักเรียนในร้อยตำรวจค่ะ
We prepare lunch at ดำรงราชานุภาพ Hall right by the river. Buses waiting you outside this hall for everyone. Thank you for your evaluation submitted.
And for Apta members, our liaison will take you there as in the morning. Okay, so we come to the last session. Transnational crime has been a serious problem that evolves rapidly from traditional form to the modern one with technology involved, such as using cyber or online application. All police academy and training institutions play important role to prepare professional police to encounter with this problem. With this reason, hence, Association of Police Training Institutions in Asia arranged this seminar today. Here comes the last session of the academic seminar. It is a certificate ceremony for presenter of academic seminar this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Chief Superintendent General Sang Jong Lee, President of Association of Police Training Institutions in Asia, on stage to present a certificate to all presenters. And I would like to call the name of presenter by presentation order. First presenter, may I invite Senior Inspector Dong Kyu-shin from International Cooperation Office, Korean National Police, University, Republic of Korea. Thank you very much. In the title of Korean Police Respond to Gender-Based Violence and Domestic Violence. Next, I will call Police Bui Van Dat from the People's Police Academy of Vietnam, presenting in the title of International Cooperation in Police Training to deal with transnational crime at the People's Police Academy of Vietnam. Thank you very much. Round of applause. Third presenter, may I call Police Lieutenant Colonel Thiti Mahacharan, Lecturer of Forensic Science Faculty, Royal Police Cadet Academy, Thailand. Next, I would like to call Police Captain Gotchakon Phengranai and Police Lieutenant Pinyo Mipiam, Lecturer of Forensic Science Faculty, Royal Police Cadet Academy, Thailand. Police Captain Gotchakon Phengranai. And Police Lieutenant Pinyo Mipiam. Next, I would like to call Police Captain Wongyot Gersi, Lecturer of Forensic Science Faculty, Royal Police Cadet Academy, in a design of Facebook user analysis system for human trafficking page monitoring in Thailand. Next, I would like to call upon Police Captain Pitupum Nakprada, Lecturer of Social Science Faculty, Royal Police Cadet Academy, in the characters of effective instructor related to transnational crime perceived by police cadet. Next, I would like to invite Police Cadet Kaiwan Kajon Kuntolathon and Police Cadet Sirikan Rangkawong for their presentation topic, Predictive Policing Deviant Behavior Inspection through Facebook. And next, Police Cadet Sirikan Rangkawong on their impressive presentation. Apart from oral presentation, we also have a poster presentation outside. So let me invite Police Lieutenant Colonel Asanut Sangthongdi, Lecturer of Social Science Faculty, Royal Police Cadet Academy. He has his poster presentation outside this hall in the title, Human Face Detection System to Identify Online Child Victim Abuse in Sexual Trafficking Case in Thailand.
Right now, we would like to take a group photo of all presenters with our Commissioner of the Royal Police Cadet Academy too, on the stage. So
I would like to invite RPCA Commissioner with Apta President to have a group photo with our presenters. In addition, the Apta president also prepared some souvenir for the presenter that attend the academic seminar for morning session as well. Thank you very much. ค่ะมีการมอบของที่ระลึกนะคะจากท่านประธาน Apta ซึ่งท่านเตรียมมาเป็นพิเศษทางเราก็ไม่ทราบมาก่อนนะคะถือว่าเป็นเซอร์ไพรส์ก็ขอแสดงความยินดีขอเสียงปรบมือให้กับผู้เข้าร่วมพรีเซนต์งานครั้งนี้ทุกท่านนะคะเขาเพิ่ม May I now invite Chief Superintendent General Sang Jong Lee, President of Apta, Association of Police Training Institute in Asia, to deliver the closing remark.
어제 개회사 때 보셨겠지만 제가 말씀을 길게 드리기 때문에 저에게 마이크를 주신 것은 큰 실수라고 생각을 합니다.
As you saw yesterday at the opening ceremony, it might be a mistake to give me this opportunity to speak, because my speech is always very long.
저는 3주 전에 한국경찰대학에서 피아 우타요 학교장님과 사모님을 만났었는데 이곳 태국에서 다시 만나게 되니 더욱 반가운 느낌이 듭니다.
I am so glad to meet Commissioner Pia Utayo and his wife again in here as we met at my university 3 weeks ago.
태국에서 개최된 이번 3차 총회와 학술대회는 앱타의 지속적 발전에 큰 의미를 가집니다.
This Apta meeting and academic conference are very meaningful in terms of sustainability and development of Apta.
그리고 내년에 있을 4차 총회 장소를 필리핀으로 확정하게 되어 매우 기쁘고 이 또한 앱타의 발전에 좋은 계기가 될 것이라고 확신합니다.
I am also very much grateful for confirming the next venue of Apta annual meeting, Manila, the Philippines. It will be another important step for further development of this association.
오늘 학술 세미나에서는 우리가 당면한 공통 위협에 함께 대응할 수 있는 방안에 대한 많은 발표가 있었습니다.
I carefully listened to all the presentations about how to cope with our common challenges altogether.
특히 태국 경찰이 최신 기술을 수사와 다른 경찰 활동에 적용하려는 노력을 매우 인상 깊게 들었습니다.
Especially, it was very impressive to me that the Royal Thai Police tried to implement new technology into investigation and other policing areas.
학술 세미나에 참석해 주신 모든 분들께 깊이 감사드리며 앞으로도 앱타를 통한 학술 협력 분야가 지속되기를 희망합니다.
I truly appreciate all the participants and wish to continue the areas of academic exchanges through Apta.
다시 한번 성대한 행사를 준비해 준 피아 우타요 학장님과 RPCA 관계자 생도 여러분 그리고 행사에 참여해 준 대표단 여러분에게 깊은 감사를 드립니다.
Again, I express my sincere gratitude to Commissioner Pia Utayo, officers and cadets under his command and leadership, and distinguished representatives of Apta members for making this magnificent event possible.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your meaningful remark. As we reach to the end of the academic seminar, heartfelt thanks go to Association of Police Training Institution in Thailand, or Apta, in arranging this seminar, research presenter for your hard work, organizing staff, and a very big thanks to you, the active audience. Can you please give a big round of applause to yourself? Thank you. The seminar would not have been possible without you. On behalf of Royal Police Cadet Academy, Thailand, once again, thank you very much and wish you all safe back home. Goodbye. Thank you.